Then you got Mike McGlinchey. The Niners are an interesting team. They're not spending a ton on quarterbacks. They're really loaded at every spot on their roster. Loaded at D-line. Absolutely loaded at D-line. Maybe even more loaded at linebacker. I mean, they have maybe the best linebackers in the league. Secondary has 2 Pro Bowlers, wide receivers, the running. I mean, the whole team is really freaking good, except for the offensive line. I mean, the left tackle, hell of a player. Left guard, young and promising. Center, surprisingly solid. Right guard, a platoon. And right tackle. It seems to me that a team as good as the 49ers should have a better right tackle than Mike McGlinchey. I mean, nothing against Mike McGlinchey. I guess he's a starter in the NFL, but it seems like he should be starting for a team that's not as good as the 49ers. The Niners are way too good to have one starter that's starting not because of injury. Like, he's starting simply because the Niners drafted him in the first round 4 or 5 years ago. And a lot of the time he gets let off the hook. Like last week, Seattle doesn't have much of a pass rush. Or, I mean, they didn't in that game on Thursday night. Maybe they were tired. And people forget that Mike McGlinchey, like the bad plays out there waiting. This week, though, against Washington, it could be bad. I mean, they got Chase Young coming back. They already have Montez Sweat. All you got to do is get Mike McGlinchey one-on-one and 3rd and long. And now, the thing about Mike McGlinchey, in a sense, he's on the best team for him because the Niners are built to just get a lead and then go really slow on offense and be in 3rd and 4 and run the ball. And they're always running away from him anyway. They're always doing play action. They're very seldom in situations where they're losing. They got to throw. It's 3rd and 9. Like, that's where McGlinchey loses the game for you. That's where he's the weakest link and you can't win. Sometimes. But the Niners are just like, they're so good at basically working around him that it doesn't crop up. But on 3rd and long, if it happens against this defense, watch for 69. I mean, even last week, in one of his better weeks, he had a holding penalty. So watch for 69. If you see the flag, it just seems like, look at Philly. Philly and the Niners are really similar. They have the same, I mean, Philly traded up for a quarterback, right? Philly traded a lot of picks for a quarterback who went to North Dakota State in 2016, and it didn't work out. And I think they felt that giving him the keys to the franchise like that created a sense of entitlement, and it made him kind of uncoachable. They moved on. And now they sort of fell into this philosophy or structure where they don't spend much on quarterbacks at all. They spend on the rest of their roster. They got a 2nd-round pick at Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew, who makes like $2 million a year. And that has allowed Philly to put together the best roster in the league. The Niners, probably the 2nd best roster because they've fallen into the same roster building construct. They traded up for a quarterback too. Maybe they feel they made a mistake there. I don't know how they feel yet. It's too early to say. But now they got a cheap quarterback, and they're trying to carry him by spending on the rest of the roster. The one difference between Philly and the Niners is that while Philly has a great D-line like the Niners, Philly also has a great O-line. They really value that position. They have great tackles, plural, guards, plural, and centers, plural. They have one of the best centers in the league, and they spent their 2nd-round pick on a center this year just to have a guy ready in the future whenever that's necessary. So I'd like to see the Niners like follow Philly's lead and get a really freaking good right tackle this offseason. Not Mike McGlinchey. I think the Niners are so far beyond the Mike McGlinchey level. Good guy, though. I mean, I understand why they like him, but how about someone like Caleb McGarry? He's going to be a free agent this offseason. The Niners are going really cheap at quarterback. They could afford Caleb McGarry. He's one of the best right tackles in the league. Now, they should have Tristan Wirfs. They could have drafted Tristan Wirfs. He could have been the right tackle on this team. If they had Tristan Wirfs right now, they would be the best team in the league. But they don't. They have Mike McGlinchey, and McGlinchey's going to have his biggest test of the year since week 3 against Denver when he got smoked. So, curious to see what happens. I think he's mostly going to be facing Montez Sweat, who's a hell of a player. All eyes on Big Mike. Brock Purdy is garbage juice? Really? think so.